Yo, yo, yo. Uh-oh, don't text me. Um, yeah, so it's like almost 3 a.m. I want to make another video specifically about a plugin that I don't think gets a lot of credit, respect. I think people look at it as a lower class citizen of plugins. Okay, it's not that serious, but I don't know. I listen. FL Studio's come a long way, right? A lot of these synths are really fucking cool. Poison's awesome. Harmor is fucking nuts. I'm actually just getting into Harmor now. It took me a long time, but I watched a Busy Work Beats video and he started casually messing with the filter one frequency envelope, and I'm like, holy shit, that is dope. You know, I mean, oh fuck, sorry, that's loud. Listen, all these are great, okay? Obviously. But I would argue that one synth, which has way less features, way less processing power, whatever, it's not very advanced. I would take that over these any day, and that synth is Wasp XT. I'm not talking about Wasp 1, okay? I don't like that one so much. I'll load that up too, why not? First of all, this thing is just an eyesore, so let's not talk about Wasp 1. No, I'm going to talk about Wasp XT. The reason being, this is like the Swiss Army knife for me of synths. If I need a little fucking pad, if I need a little sine wave, if I need a little vibrato effect, if I need some weird kind of house filter, like, takes up no CPU, totally easy to maneuver. I mean, look, we're not working with a huge GUI here. This is nothing. It's tiny. So easy to use, so easy to understand. LFO is basic as fuck. Couldn't get easier than this. So versatile. It's a great plugin. I wish it was a VST. We'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, you've got all these crazy synths. You can do image synthesis and Harmor. You can do all this crazy stuff. But Wasp, for me personally, I think is more valuable than any of these other ones. And I want to make a track just using Wasp XT to show you what it can do. I know there's a lot of tutorials out there where they go, this is the filter section. And here we have the... It's like, okay, enough. You just put me to sleep. Because that's not how I learn. I learn by seeing and then doing the step myself, And also you need context. A lot of these things, it's like, in here, the reverb and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, put this in something that I can understand, in a scenario that makes sense, right? So Wasp is, this is how I learned everything about synthesis from Wasp. Because I was used to FL's, envelope system here, like this is how I learned how to, control like my samples, for example. I learned how to get rid of the attack, bring it back in, turn off the release, decay, things like that, right? So when I found Wasp, it was pretty second nature. You look at this envelope here for amplitude and the filter. I mean, it's very similar, very easy to use. All of this is automatable, but whatever. Let's just start making a track. So let's see, we're at 92 BPM. That's usually what I do for like hip hop and stuff. I'll do chords first. I'll show you what this thing can do. So let's build some chords. First thing I always do, make sure the sustain and decay are all the way to the right. Attack is all the way to the left. Same with release. So you get something like this. This might be kind of loud. That's not bad. I'm not going to go into the wave candy analyzing the fucking, saw, but that saw to me sounds great. And I think, no, that's for samples. I forgot. Cool. So, here we go. You can brighten it up a little bit with the res. Okay, so I want a pad. I want like a funky, deep kind of pad. So I'm going to bring in the second oscillator into the mix. I'm going to adjust the fine here. Doesn't take much. I'm also going to enable this two voices at once thing. We got that stereo shit going on now. Cool. Let's see. Maybe mess with the chorus. This is the, you know, octaves and stuff. Nah, I'll bring it down. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's just start making some chords. And again, oh, I don't know if I mentioned this already. I use my keyboard to audition sounds. So if you ever hear this, that's because I'm just trying to listen to it. And then I use the piano roll. I use my ears to figure out what note I should do. I'll sing them sometimes, like na, 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 right? I honestly don't know what that chord is. I know it sounds okay. You know, sounds normal. It's not a weird chord. Okay, and that's, I mean, that's just, who wouldn't pop a boner hearing that? You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking, God, I love that shit. So, and you know, 80s stuff is coming back. I mean, it's been back for a while, but this kind of sound is kind of in. And what's a great way to get this sound going is to have a little basic bitch synth like this where you can program it fast, right? So, and I'll show you some cool stuff. Oh yeah, I should always, I increase the polyphony on this thing. It's not going to be a huge CPU hog. I mean, come on, it's nothing. So, and I want to hear all those voices. And even one step further, fruity flanges. Flanges? This plugin is super underrated. I'm sure people use it, but this is my go-to for kind of weird stereo chorusy stuff. And you know, this synth is pretty, sounds pretty digital. I know it's supposed to be like analog, and I'm not really sure if this does much of anything. But it does have a pretty digital sound, I would say, even though it's supposed to be, you know, it sounds very harsh, right? So I would go in, I love this Bus Driver by Nomad Factory. Give it some of that tube driver saturation. Not that much. You know, something like that. Compress it a little bit. Too much. Cool. Okay, let's lower that a little bit. Put this on the instrument track. Okay, cool. What time are we at? Let's see. Okay, 8 minutes. Almost 9 minutes. All right. Oh, and I'm going to throw a swing on this as well. So that sounds kind of like, kind of mechanical, right? So what I will do is go to the LFO section because I want to get that vibrato. If you just turn it on. Cool. Of course, over here you choose the shape of the LFO, right? So you can do some crazy stuff. If you don't want to think as much about this stuff, if you want it to sound like it's on tempo, you just sync it, right? Sync it to your BPM, and you'll get a less crazy sound, right? But it's a more palatable, not pleasurable. You know what I'm fucking saying, okay? So Holy shit. Chill. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here, right? Right click, create automation clip. Let's get this pattern in. Does everyone's session start on pattern 4? Is that just the most noob, basic bitch thing? I think that is a thing. My entire life, pattern 4 has been, or maybe that's just how I set up my template in the beginning. I don't know. Anyway, so cool. Let's get this guy in here. All right, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Another problem is because I use the typing keyboard, my shortcut game is not very good. So you'll probably see me like slicing stuff instead of just using whatever key it is. But it's a small price to pay for me. Oh my God, I just nutted. Just kidding. And any kids who are watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm being inappropriate. Okay, so fucking, and I'm taking a little longer because I'm yapping. Dude, I can breeze through this shit. Okay. I don't really know where I'm going here. I'm just kind of making it as I go along. How about this? Wait. Oh, I got it. Okay. Something simple. See, I don't know what that shortcut would be. I'm sure just to get to the select tool, I'm sure it would be so much faster, but whoa, no. And most people are probably going to play this on a keyboard. That's fine. You know, go use your keyboard. Cool. Is this going to work? Oh, God damn it. If I'm going, oh, too much, please write that in the comments. Sir, please stop being pleasured by this. That got me banned from YouTube. There's a guy who's making tutorials on music, and he's like actually like. Never mind. Let's not go down this road. Okay. There we go. Okay, almost done here. I might also, and let's also, I forgot, I added all this saturation from the bus driver plugin. I forgot to EQ. You're not hearing the wobble because this is pattern mode. Okay, cool. Let's do another one. Oh shit. Oh no. There's someone yelling outside. Hold on. This is so unprofessional. What the fuck is that? Is that a dog? No, that's a... Okay. So, I live in a place, and the neighborhood is, you know, sketch to say the least. And I will hear shit. I've had people, hobos, like, sitting under my windowsill outside, I face the parking lot, so I've had some fucking crazy shit happen, and I'm paranoid. Not paranoid enough to move, though. Paranoid enough to move. I don't love these chords. These are kind of whack, but whatever. Okay, so we got... Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, I should add another octave. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm not used to speaking and making music at the same time. I'll be 100% honest with you. Let's start messing with the filter here. Sounds kind of okay. I don't like that. Oh yeah, what am I doing? What happened there? Is it because I did some automation here? Let's see. Okay, whatever. All right, and now let's add some bass. Drop the bass. My friend Jay will say. He'll just go bass. You're like, okay, cool. I'll be honest, it's probably not. You should use another bass to make your bass synth. But for the purpose of this, since I was sucking its dick so hard, I will just make a bass line with it. That's when this third oscillator comes in handy, actually. You know, right here it sounds like a little better. One sec. It's hard to hear these octaves. There we go. Okay, that's bassy, kind of. Cool. All right. We'll call this bass. Let's make it blue. I usually do blue for bass. I didn't need to rename it. I'm very tired, as I told you. Okay, cool. So, cool. So this track is very retro, obviously, as we can tell. This is not going to be Drake's new single, but you can make some crazy shit with it. I'm just kind of fucking around. I just love this thing so much. Oh, no. Filter cut off. Cool. And a lot of the magic is in, you know, mixing anyway. Okay, let's do this. Oops. That's another thing. I can easily go in. You know, do that slide. I don't have to go through some third-party bullshit. Let's do this octave lower. Sometimes when bass lines get too high, they get a little too friendly. You don't want a friendly bass line. Okay. We'll just follow that other thing I did. Cool, we got our bass line. Let me do some stuff to this really quick. I'll do the same compressor. Give it that stank. Actually, there's a preset. Let's see. I think it's basses, sub texture. And you know, I'm not gonna mix this whole thing super intense. Okay, let's get some drums in here so it sounds like a real track. What time are we at also? Oh shit, 22 minutes. How long can I go? Oh man. Let's do track 1. Ooh, that sounded crazy. Because I think earlier in the video I was messing with the envelope. That's sick. Let's see if we can still hear it with the snare. Okay. If I have a crazy thing like shh, something like that, I usually wouldn't repeat it like 2 times in a row. Oh yeah, let's do something like. Do I got something like that? Do I have like a drums, blah, 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 cymbals. Where do I get? There we go. Let's go to West Coast. Cymbal. Sorry, I just got caught up in the beat. Once those drums come and you've done the groundwork, it's like, ooh. Let's get a... Okay, so we're at, what, 25 minutes? 24? Let's get another Wasp in there for a melody. God, I'm tired. And this time, we should fuck with filter more. Sorry. Wait a minute, oscillator 1. Oh yeah. Sorry. Dude, it's late. I'm getting into this track. I gotta learn how to be more, have better commentary, not go, oh yeah. Okay, let's just start fucking around. Let's see. Maybe dial this back a little bit. That's another cool thing. You can link both envelopes. I don't usually do it that much though. Yeah, I like to stick with a saw usually. Okay, cool. So what do we got going on here? Let's do a new pattern. Let's tighten that up 1 sec. Nope. If you let the notes go out too long, it sounds too like 90s. Whereas if you kind of tighten them up, I mean, it still sounds retro, but not as much. Let's see. Oh yeah, also these hi-hats. Let's go in there. And what we're gonna do is, you've seen this trick a million times. Offset them a little bit. Also, we're gonna alternate the velocity. It works on more realistic samples. Honestly, this is like some trap shit. Let's do, oh shit, my bad. Let's do Control C. No. Control V. Okay, cool. Now, just to be clear, I don't make entire tracks out of Wasp XT, right? That would be nuts. I mean, that would be like that's all you need. It's not all you need. It's just very, very useful for little things. For, oh, I need a quick melody idea. You know, just shit it out real quick. That was real mature. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so, I don't know how to explain it. Okay, cool. So what we got going on here? Ooh. Oh, right, I forgot. This is oscillator 1's pitch. That's weird. So this one controls 1 and 2, and this one controls 1. Interesting. Oh, and there's also this whole modulation envelope thing. Oscillator 2 pitch. I am too tired to get into this right now, but oof. Fuck it. Let's see what we got. Ooh. It almost sounds like, are you Ellie? What's up, Ja Rule? I'm biting your shit. That's dope. Ooh. Tie that up. Oops. Let's do an octave up. Is that? Oh fuck! What time is it? 8:30. Ah, fuck it. I'll keep going. Let's see how long YouTube will give me. If it gets cut off, I will split it into 2 parts. I like using OBS because that way I don't really have to do a lot of editing. I can just click record and go. Let's do some. Wait, shit. Wow, I'm just not even talking. God. This is an experiment, you know? I gotta get in the groove of this stuff, and I gotta do it when it's not so late. This is going to be part 1 in a series of 37 parts about Wasp XT. The point I want to make is that I need this shit back in my life. I haven't even touched 32. Listen to that. That's me scratching my beard because of how happy I am right now. I haven't touched 32-bit Wasp, FL, in a long time, right? Because, you know, I got everything else going. I got all these other plugins and shit. all that RAM I can use, you know, for contact or whatever. And I'm back in it now, and it's like, oh, I wish I had my Swiss Army knife of synths I could use. So I am begging you, ImageLine, whoever is listening, let's track that. Let's find that original code for Wasp XT. I don't even want Wasp. Fuck Wasp. No one likes Wasp, the original one. Come on. There's no guy out there who's like, oh, it's my favorite one. You know, come on. Relax. Wasp XT. That's the one we need. And yeah, so I'm going to call it quits here. I got to pass out. Hopefully I didn't complain too much about that. Did I mention I'm tired? Yeah, maybe I did. But thank you for watching. And hopefully you start messing with Wasp XT yourself. And if you like the video, you can just keep it to yourself because I don't want to hear about it. All right, thanks.